Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You start the project in Blender, Plasticity, or whatever it may be, and at some point you get stuck. You try to solve it, but you can't, so you move on, you pause the project, you ditch the project, and you start a new one. Then you bring it to a certain stage, and again, yep, you get stuck again, right? And then you start thinking, maybe there's something wrong with me, right? Maybe I'm just not good enough, right? And that's not the best way to think about it, especially that a lot of people struggle with the same thing. In fact, everyone is struggling with the same thing at a certain stage. There's not a single person that, was working on something and didn't get stuck at some point. It's just normal, okay? It's called progression. It's called learning. It's called being challenged, right? That's what it is. So in this video, what we're going to do, we're going to take 12 reasons why we get stuck and how to solve it, okay? So let's get started. Now I got the list here, a PDF list, because it's quite a long list and I don't want to get lost. So we're going to start with point number 1, which is, if I'm stuck, I must be useless. This is really common. And it's an interesting issue. So let me talk you through it. So you think that being stuck is a failure, that it means that you're completely useless, or you simply don't have any skills, and you're just not up to the job. And in fact, it's correct. But you need to look at it from a different perspective. So yes, when you get stuck, it means you have no ideas, or maybe you have no skills, or you don't know how to progress. But it's not because you're useless, it's because you simply don't have enough knowledge. So what do? You learn. Guys, because you see, like I said, life is tossing you a bone, is tossing you a challenge, and giving you an opportunity to level up. If you encounter a difficult boss in game, and you die, you're not useless. You just don't know the boss mechanics yet. When you learn them, you can kill him. That's how you progress in raids, in WoW, or whatever game you're playing, right? That's what we used to do back in the day when I was raiding. But anyway, that's how life works. So yes, you may not have enough skills. Yes, you may suck at this specific issue, but it doesn't mean you can't learn, right? So what you do is instead of bouncing off of that wall, you try to cross it, okay? Because that's the only way to grow, right? And in fact, this point is going to be connected with all other points, and you'll see in a minute how. So next one is going to be dopamine loop, and this one is massive, okay? So you start something new and it feels fresh and amazing, and you're excited. And by the way, the first 24, I think, hours when we learn something, we inhale like sponges, but then we reach this kind of a semi-saturation level, and then the learning curve drops off, and it takes way more time to learn something. Just like with languages, you can learn 10 words or 20 words in day one, and then you're just gonna start, slowing down because there's so much stuff to learn, right? And when this excitement fades, a lot of people give up. And that's usually because it could be multiple reasons, because maybe this issue doesn't excite them enough, or maybe they don't want badly enough, the outcome. Let's say there's a hot chick in a classroom or like in a college and you really want to get together. You're going to do everything, right, to make it work. Why? Because, you really want it, okay? There's a serious driver behind it. Well, if you don't feel like challenging the problem, you don't feel like overcoming the issue, if you don't feel like getting dirty and learning and spending some time on getting better to understand the problem, that you don't want it badly enough, maybe you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Think about it, okay? So instead of chasing these dopamine hits, very quick ones, try to rewire your brain to look for much longer goals and rewards, okay? Rewards that lay further away, right? Or split the long journey into smaller chunks, so you got rewards on the way, but it's smaller, and you can look forward to the larger reward. Like, for example, you're in a game, you level 1, 2, 3, 4, eventually reach level 60 or 100, which is the max level, and you enter the end game, right? It's the same thing, okay? So you got some sort of a progress, and you see a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going towards that light, right? That's how you should think about it. Number 3 is going to be no structure to your goal. And this is because you skip planning. Okay, you need to plan, right? When you want to, for example, create a model, you want to plan the blockout, you want to plan your references, you want to plan your details, you want to plan the colors, the render. You have to kind of plan the whole idea what you want to do, because if you do something without plans, try to build a building without architectural plans, it's going to collapse, right? You need to have plan, right? Plan of action. Why in a combat people have a plan? They have a map, they basically set a strategy and then follow the strategy. Otherwise, everything is disorganized. Everything needs a plan, a structure, okay? So when you do something without structure, it's not gonna work. If you don't, for example, let's say you're making a Mac. You need to know what kind of Mac you're making. Bipedal, right? A Mac on some tracks. I mean, a war Mac, a support Mac, a cargo Mac. What Mac is a medical Mac? What is it, right? Is a humanoid? Is a heavy Mac? Is a war Mac? What is it? Like, it's a droid? So you need to have an idea, a plan, and then, you know, gather references and follow that plan, okay? So no structure is a problem. Then another thing you can do is break this massive project into smaller bits. So for example, you know, day one, I'm going to look for references. Day two, I'm going to choose one of the references, look for visual anchors and decide what Mac I want to do. Then day three, I'm going to run a blockout. Day four, I'm going to slice the blockout with primary detail, and then I'm going to be detailing my Mac. It's going to get easier and easier and easier. And if you have a plan and you follow it, you're going to be able to, you know, overcome your issues. And when you get stuck, it's going to be much easier to fix the problem, because guess what? You have a plan, right? Now, number 4 is going to be the overconsumption trap. And this is really, really common, okay? We have so many people telling us, oh, I have so many of your courses, but I finished fuck all. Well, because you're just jumping from one to another. Just too much, okay? If a kid has too many toys, he doesn't play with any of them because he just doesn't know what to do. If you have thousands of videos on YouTube, you're going to be skipping like a grasshopper without any concept, right? So when you overconsume tutorials, you know, you're going to enter this kind of a procrastination loop where you procrastinate through being kind of productive, right? Because you're watching videos, you're watching tutorials, but you're not really getting closer to your goal. Your goal is to build a Mac, right? So every single fucking thing you do should lead you closer to your goal. And again, if you don't have a plan, you can't do that. See how it's connected? So that's a problem. So instead of, you know, over consuming the videos, over gathering references, right? First thing what you want to do, and then do this with purpose, right? Look only for bipedal Macs, look only for war Macs, you know. That's what you need to do. If you want to build it using sub-D, watch only sub-D videos. Do you see what I mean? So you need to focus down, right? It's going to help you to stay on track. And lastly, take action, okay? Because if you're going to be just watching tuts or just, you know, gathering references, you're not modeling anything. So you need to sit down and start modeling. I know it's kind of intimidating, because when you look at the cube and you think what you want to build, it's like, Jesus, what do I even start? You need to start slowly, gradually, you know, look at the reference, look at your Mac, look at the other reference, you know, ask questions on Discord, you know. There's so many ways of finding information. You know, you could even reach out to AI and kind of consult it with AI. Maybe AI is going to have some ideas for you that's going to bring you past your block, right? But again, you have to take action, okay? So follow the plan, take action, and you're going to be getting out of this overconsumption trap, which will basically help you with nothing, right? Next is going to be number 5, energy distribution. This is massive, especially today with all these distractions, you know, YouTube, Discord, Schmiscord, you know, OnlyFans and all this bullshit, right? So you want to focus your energy very specifically on what you're supposed to be doing, okay? And you have to do it consciously by cleaning your environment and your basically mental space. It's really important to have it organized up here and around you, because otherwise you're gonna be in chaos, okay? And your focus, your power of focus, right? The level of focus is gonna come from how well you distribute your energy across the day, right? If you're gonna get distracted by a lot of things, and you know, by a Snickers bar on your table, and you know, I don't know, someone messaging you on Discord or YouTube, or you're gonna find some funny video, you can't accomplish anything, okay? So you need to manage your energy, and you have a limited amount of energy and time in a day. So you have to manage it, right? Schedule yourself. This is really important. For me, schedule is everything, okay? I have a very tight schedule, right? Again, wake up at 4 o'clock. I exercise at about 6:30. I eat about 7:30, and I just work in between, right? And since I'm on a carnivore diet, I don't really crave food anymore. I just eat when I'm hungry twice a day. I don't think about food in my fridge. I just don't care. I have stable levels of energy. Nothing distracts me. I can focus on work all the time. And this is really, this is really what helped me tremendously with organizing myself even better, right? But you need to find a way for yourself what works for you, right? And organize your life towards your goal. Your life, your brain, your mental state, your health, everything, your diets should support your goal, okay? Not the other way around. Your brain should be listening to you, not you listen to your brain, okay? You own it. So behave like you own it, you know what I mean? Another thing is that, skipping stuff like rest or multitasking or, eating garbage food again, this is all going to be a problem. If you're gonna, have a diet full of carbs, good luck to you, okay? Fix your diet. Stop eating junk, right? Not good for you. You need a lot of rest too. You need proper rest. Also, you need some exercise. You need some, fresh air, all that. So you need to move it into your schedule if you can. But the funny thing, that's a paradox of busy people, there was a research done on, I think, single moms. They're one of the most organized people on earth because they have so little time and they can really organize their shit out of their day, right? Because they have to juggle the job, the kid, the everything, right? So you have enough time. So lack of time is not an excuse. You simply suck at organizing it, okay? So fix it. That's on you, right? And then your energy is going to be distributed correctly. 6 is going to be lack of structure or routine, and it's kind of connected with energy distribution because, jumping between tools, methods, Blender, Schmender, ZBrush, and this ain't going to help you, okay? You have to have a system in place, right? And if you have a routine of, during the day, like let's say you get up at this time, you do that, you do this, and then you do that, then you're going to have better energy levels. So your structure and routine will support these energy levels, which means you're going to be able to focus better. It's all connected, right? All these points are connected. And the real progress happens when you're consistent, okay? This is really important. It's not just one day or a week. You got to be fucking consistent, okay? So when you set something up, stick to it. Otherwise, you will not be able to collect enough data to see if it's working for you or not, okay? So see if it's working for you for a longer period of time, and if it does, great. If it doesn't, change it. I've been changing my schedule, my diet, my routine multiple times, and eventually I landed on something that really, really works for me very well, okay? Number 7 is going to be fear of criticism. This is actually quite big, and this comes from self-confidence. Listen, if you die tomorrow, no one's going to give a fuck. This might hurt, but it's the truth, Your mom's going to be a bit sad. Your sister might be a bit grieved for a few days, but eventually you're going to move on because they have to. But outside your family, no one's going to give a shit. So why would you care about what people think about you? Who gives a fuck, right? So this is what the Reddit morons don't understand, They think they can, say this and that about people, and if that person doesn't give a shit, they cannot do anything. They just powerless, okay? So make people powerless. Empower yourself by not giving a shit, right? I don't give a fuck if someone doesn't like my videos. I'm not recording videos for those who don't like them. I record videos for those who like them, who actually see value in my videos. Or the same with courses. We record courses for those who actually see value in our courses. And if you go to our website and you see thousands of testimonials, then you'll see that a lot of people see value in what we do. And the reason for that is simply because we put a lot of passion and care into what we do, right? This is, something we really like doing, and it shows. So that's how you need to think about it. So, if you are worried that you're going to put something out there that's going to open you to critique, well, fuck yeah, it's going to open you to critique, but that's good because you need thicker skin. Without thick skin, you're going to get fucked in life, okay? So trust me on this one, don't be a flake. Just put yourself out there, and thicker skin is gonna be good for you, okay? You're gonna be more confident, more relaxed, and less stressed about bullshit, because worrying about what other people talk about you, it's bullshit, okay? Usually doesn't matter, okay? And people nature is to just throw judgments and comments, etc., because it's internet, it's faceless. So why would you care about someone who doesn't give a shit about you and you don't even know who that is? If you put it this way in your head, it just becomes irrelevant. I couldn't give two fucks about what people talk about on YouTube, Reddit, Schmeddit, whatever. I just fucking ignore them, I focus on those people who actually change my life in a positive way, okay? Who benefit for what I do. If I help someone, right, and they really grow, that's amazing. That's what I focus on, and I do more of that. And if some moron gonna come and just post some nonsense, I just gonna fucking nuke them, do you know what I mean? Because they're garbage. Not a human being, they're just a waste of fucking space, right? So there you go. That's what I think. That's how you should think, because that's really, really constructive, and it's gonna help you tremendously overcome not just blocks, but also, life's gonna get easier for you, okay? Trust me. But having said that, constructive criticism is really important, because it actually can help you grow. So if someone has more knowledge or has a different perspective, listen to what they have to say, because they might actually tell you something you benefit from. So you will learn something, which is very, very good thing to do. So, don't be close to everything people say. Just don't listen to morons. Point number 8, procrastination disguised as perfectionism. Now, this one is interesting, right? I suffer from this, and a lot of artists are suffering from this, and usually when we, for example, build something with just like a new website or new funnel or whatever we do, course, he has this kind of an interesting American approach, 80-20, let's put it out there and fix it later. So we're going to put something that's really good but not perfect. You can't make things perfect. It doesn't mean we're going to put shit out there, but something that's really good, just not perfect. I'm always trying to get things perfect. And if you're going to think like that, you will never be able to accomplish anything, because you cannot do everything to perfection. It's just not going to happen. You're going to waste tremendous amount of time and make no money, right? Or no progress, because perfection doesn't exist. It's very, subjective, right? And it's going to cause you a lot of frustration, a lot of wasted time, a lot of headache, and the only person that's going to see that it's you. And I get that, because, when I put a render out there and something is wrong, and even it's only me who can see the issue, I'm going to be bothered by it. But you need to kind of overcome that and sort of reprogram your brain to stop thinking that way, because honestly, it's going to give you more headache than it's worth, okay? So try not to procrastinate through perfectionism, because that's not the best idea. And ChatGPT actually gave me a brilliant sentence, said perfectionism is procrastination dressed up as ambition. That's a really fucking, I would never think about that, but that's brilliant, right? It's exactly what it is. It's a bit of an ego, you know what I mean? An ego trip, right? So try to avoid that. Because, it kind of feels productive, but it isn't, okay? It isn't, especially if you do it for every single fucking project. It just, good luck to you working a pipeline like this, it's, when you have deadlines. It ain't gonna happen, or with clients, right? Number 9, no correct reward system. That's another one. So these days people get rewards for showing up. What the fuck is this? When I was a kid, I need to do something exceptional to be recognized, let alone being rewarded. So the reward system now is a bit crooked, and we need to look at it a little bit differently. The reward should come from effort. The journey is the reward, okay? Not the destination. The destination is a bonus. So when you finish a project, it's a bonus, but the journey, going from A to B, it's rewarding in itself, because you're going to be learning something. You will overcome challenges. You're going to better yourself. You're going to be improving your skills. You're going to be doing something you were scared of. That's a fucking reward. Because you became a better person. You can't get better reward than this. So, and the final render or whatever the project is a bonus. It's a bonus, right? Because it's like looking at, it's similar to looking at materialistic things and non-materialistic things, okay? The final render is going to be something materialistic, something you can touch, something you can, oh, look, this is what I've done, right? But the knowledge, the challenge you kind of crushed, the mountains you have to go through, right? the path you have to go through, the path you have to walk, right? You just can't measure this. But it's tremendously rewarding, right? Because it's you growing, and you can't put price on this, and that should be a fucking reward, not the final render. Okay, so if you think about it like that, you will start enjoying the process. And when you start enjoying the process, guess what? You're gonna get stuck less, because it will not bother you that you're getting stuck. You're gonna be excited for it, right? There you go. And lastly, remember, you only fail when you give up. So when you just say, oh, fuck it, I'm done. That's when you really failed. When you're trying something and it doesn't work, you're simply finding ways of this not working. You just have to find a way it works. That's it. That's all you need to do, okay? Number 10, distracting environment. And this is really, really crucial. You really have to clean up your environment, okay? Remove the phones, remove the YouTube, close the Discord, and get rid of all the nonsense, all the distractions, and try to clean up your scene, clean up your house, clean up your environment, clean up your mind from distractions, from thoughts that don't belong there when you're working on a project, and focus, okay? Make it 15 minutes, make it 20 minutes, then you make it 30 minutes, and make it longer and longer, right? And eventually you're gonna be able to focus for a longer period of time, okay? So you gotta train your brain to do that, okay? So it's kind of like a mental exercise, right? But you can also build a diet. You can build an environment, around you to focus. Like, let's say when I record, I tell my wife, listen, I'm going to be recording, just keep it quiet, because I'm working and I need to focus. So there you go. It is what it is. So that's how it works. Yeah. Number 11. Lack of emotional connection to work. And this is really huge. When you don't have emotional connection to work, it means you're doing something you don't want to do. You don't really believe in it. I have so many people coming to me and saying, oh, what kind of 3D should I do to make the most amount of money? I just want to slap them. That's a wrong fucking... You can tell they're lost. Because what you should be doing is something that you really fucking like, and just get good at it. And better and better, and eventually you're gonna be the best, right? But the only way to get better at something is to do it for a long period of time. And if you want to do something for a long period of time, you better fucking love it, because you ain't gonna be able to do that otherwise, okay? You need to like what you're doing, or you will fail. And it's gonna be your fault because you were doing something you were not supposed to be doing, right? It's like showing off. It doesn't do anything, okay? It just doesn't help you in anything, right? Just do what you believe in, and everything's gonna fall into place. And if you don't know what you want to do, then you gotta find it. And the faster you find it, the better, okay? So try different things till you find what you want to do, and you do it. Like me, for example, I knew from the beginning, right, that I want to do sci-fi, because I bloody love sci-fi, okay? Sci-fi design is amazing for me, and I really like it, and I don't want to do anything else. I don't care about characters. I don't care about, trees and fun. I like fantasy too, but sci-fi is the best, okay? And I like mechs, weapons, stuff like that, drones. That's what I like to do, and that's what I'm going to be doing, because I don't want to do anything else. I don't care how much money people are going to pay me. I ain't going to fucking touch that, because it's not me. So do something that it's you. The same with videos, I swear in my videos, and people say, oh, you're swearing. I don't give a fuck. Don't watch it if you don't like it. That's me. So if you don't like what I'm doing, fuck off. There's plenty of channels, do you know what I mean? So I just don't care. I'm being me, okay? And if you're gonna be you, you're gonna be way more successful, way more happy, and, you're gonna have less issues with getting stuck, okay? Now, last one is huge. No guidance or coaching. And the issue is that a lot of people have no direction, and a lot of people need direction, because without direction, you just, kind of get lazy and disorganized. That's why you have schools. Now, schools can have problems because, schools usually teach some garbage you don't need. But if you have a teacher for a specific, or a mentor for a specific subject that you're really interested in, that could be a tremendous help. And also could save you a lot of time, because then you're going to be able to do what you really like and ask questions when you get stuck, and you get answers immediately, And these answers gonna actually help you to get out instantly from that situation, right? So you know, we've been running academy coaching for some time. The original academy had like 700 members. We started a new program right now, which is more intensive coaching. It's more personalized coaching. It's a 6-month program that gives you access directly to Josh and I. You can message us, call us, and you know, we're going to hop on a quick call and help you solve your problem, which is literally like having a private teacher. And you know, we have limited spots, but if you're interested and you would like some help with your progression in Blender, plasticity, hard surface, whatever it may be, then you know, click the link in the video description, check the program. It's really fantastic. We have quite a few people over there right now and they're loving it and they're progressing really, really fast, because in this kind of an environment you will grow very quickly. Okay, so the coaching element is huge, and you know, however you're going to go about it, whether it's courses or personal coaching, you should look into coaching, because it's going to give you direction from someone who's been there, who's been where you were, and will tell you how to get out of there. Okay, so that's why, you know, people who watch thousands of YouTube videos versus someone who watched 2 or 3 very well structured courses, that second person is going to be way ahead of them, because they got structured knowledge without any bullshit and wasting time, right? So there you go. Anyway, I hope this video helps you out. Like I said, if you're interested in coaching, click the link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.